Zatoichi, Ogami Ito, Senjuro Tsubaki. These are the names of just a few of my favorite samurais. Despite not having a name or really anything witty to say, I would like to add the hero of the new game Riptale to this list. From the way he scrapes his weapon against the ground as he runs to the gravity-defying sword play, there's just something about this guy I can't get enough of. Of course, it helps that he stars in one of the year's most exciting action games. This is a man on an important mission. When dragons and undead monsters threaten the land of the old sea, everybody turns to a nameless samurai with a long scarf and large hat. Aside from his memorable appearance, this skilled warrior uses the power of the astral gems to bring down the sources of evil and save the land from certain doom. It's gonna be a tough mission, but I have a hunch you're gonna love every second of it. What I love about Riptale is how it handles combat. I don't mean to shock anybody here, but this is far from the first 2D action game to hit the market. But what sets this game apart is the speed and precision of the combat, especially when it comes to chaining kills together in the most satisfying ways possible. Our scarfed hero doesn't just run and jump, he literally lunges at the enemies to exact a one-hit kill. It's fast and furious, the kind of attack where if you blink, you'll probably miss it. We're able to string together 3 of these strikes in a row, even if the samurai is in mid-air and needs to change directions. This creates an insanely chaotic hack and slasher that doesn't feel like any other game on the market. There's just something addictive about the way the character moves and fights. And Riptale has one of my favorite sword swings of all time. It's right up there with the original Strider. The structure of the game will feel familiar to anybody who's played a roguelike before. We start out in a randomly generated location where we advance through levels like the underground forest of the Mistwoods, the proving grounds at the Crypt, and the fungi forest in the Mushroom Caverns. Each area is filled with challenging monsters that are just looking to get slashed in half. But be careful, because you'll need to come at these various enemies in different ways, so memorizing your foe's pattern is essential. Like most roguelikes, the game is over the moment you die. This means starting over from the very beginning. With the exception of unlocking new scarves and animal companions, there isn't much continuity between the different rounds. You won't earn experience points or money to buy new items. You just start over and hope for the best. Normally, this would annoy me. I like making progress from one game to the next. But there's just something about the way the game plays that made me want to jump back in and try my luck again. And that's what I did. Over and over. I never got to the point where I was so frustrated that I wanted to stop playing. And that's mostly because the action is so much fun and the rounds are only a few minutes long. That said, there are a few quirks that keep this from being the perfect roguelike. While the action is fast and constantly exciting, there are times when it doesn't work exactly like it should. Part of the problem is the character lunges forward at such a quick speed that when he doesn't hit the enemy, it leaves him vulnerable to be hit. This would typically be fine, but sometimes the hero doesn't make contact like he should. He'll be great 90% of the time, but every so often he'll miss an enemy I'm targeting. It's also possible to exhaust all 3 strikes without actually performing 3 moves, which unfortunately will leave you as a sitting duck for a few moments. What I can't complain about are the visuals. This game is absolutely gorgeous, both in the pixel graphics and the animation. It moves so quickly and smoothly that I wanted to just sit back and marvel at what Supergod has been able to accomplish. But I can't, because that would lead to a speedy death. My only real gripe is that the boss fights aren't as good looking or as exciting as the rest of the game. Though, beating them will give you an extra bit of health and unlock new items, so I can't complain. Riptale is the perfect example of an incredibly tough game that's hard to put down. Every time I died, I wanted to jump back in and see if I could go further. Between buying new items, finding weird power-ups, and taking on the different challenge rooms, there's a lot here that'll make each playthrough feel a little different. But that's just the icing on the samurai cake, because I couldn't get enough of the speedy action and satisfying swordplay. Riptale is not only one of the best action games to come out this year, but also the best roguelike I've played in a long time. Hey, thanks for watching our review. If you've been paying attention to our videos over the past few months, then chances are you know I've been pretty high on this game. Let's hope the same can be said about the rest of the games I'm reviewing this week, including missile cards, mini ghost, and some real surprises. We're also going to be taking a look back at the best and worst reviewed full-motion video games in honor of the 25th anniversary of Night Trap. We have a lot in store, so I recommend you click the subscribe button and support what we're doing here. Until then.